Hello and welcome to another day of landscape photography. I'm up and out very early in the morning and it is absolutely stunning. I already have some amazing views after a trek up here in the dark. I'm at Hornby Hill Crag in North Yorkshire and it's absolutely beautiful. I've been struggling recently and I've become bored with landscape photography. I'm here today to change that, so come with me. .360-degree views all the way. So with this being a sunrise shoot, the big shot comes right at the start of the day. So I do want to talk about why I'm feeling a little bit bored with landscape photography at the moment. I am going to talk through my first shot before we do that though, because I'm already set up and I have the camera very low down on the tripod and I've got the sun rising beautifully with some nice colour, not amazing, but nice colour in the sky behind me. And then I have pheasants flying around all around me, a little bit off-putting, but I've then got this sort of frozen North Yorkshire valley in the scene as well. And to provide a little bit of foreground interest, I've found a very small lone tree. Now, this is a beautiful example of where perspective is really, really important in your photography, because just a slight shift in height or moving left and right will change your perspective. In landscape photography, or photography generally, perspective is the relationship between the sensor or your eyes and the scene, and the distance between those things in the scene as well. It isn't actually when you zoom in. If you zoom in, your perspective does not change. It's if you move the camera that your perspective changes. So as an example, I've got this small lone tree here, and when we're up at this height, you can barely see it. Because I've got the camera down low, and we start to move down like that, the perspective changes and that lone tree rises up above the horizon line and then really, really makes the image work. I've then got that beautiful sunrise colour in the sky as well. I'm bracketing, the foreground is still quite dark compared to that background, and I'm doing 2 stops either side. I'm at f11 because we're relatively close to the tree. I'm at ISO 100 and then I've got a nice little long exposure of around 20 seconds. As a start to the day, when I've not been feeling particularly good about my landscape photography recently, I think it's going to work out really well. Right, let's take that shot. I've got a pheasant very close now, if we can see that. Do I want a pheasant in my shot? I don't really know. Let's find out. Take the shot. 2-second timer. I think the pheasant just walked out of the scene, but that is looking really good. So being bored by landscape photography, that's the title of the video today. And I think I just need to clarify what I mean, because I'm not sick of consuming landscape photography in any way. It's just the actual getting out and shooting it. I have done a lot of landscape photography this year. I've pretty much shot every week of the year and I've shared the vast majority of it with you. I've just started to feel a little bit burnt out, and you may have noticed over the last few weeks I've done videos from the studio, and it's purely because I just did not feel like I wanted to go out. It happens to everybody in any walk of life, and the more you do stuff, the more routine it becomes, and then the less interesting it becomes sometimes. The way I've been feeling recently is I'm only really happy when I am creating, and that hasn't necessarily stopped, so it's not particularly a negative thing. All it means is I've just taken a little break from my landscape photography. I've done some water drop photography. I've created more videos. I'm pouring my energy into other things temporarily. I decided then just to take a little break to try and reset a little bit. It was still, though, difficult to come out this morning. I had to really work hard to get my backside out of bed. But I mean, how much has it paid off? That was an absolutely stunning sunrise. So I've loved it so far today. I've got a couple more shots to get yet, but I just feel like I'm reinvigorating myself for landscape photography. I've still been enjoying the outdoors, but here I am again, and that feeling of well-being, that increase in mental health that you get from doing this, coming out and about into the outdoors, it's inspiring. It inspires me, and I'm sure it inspires you as well. So if you're feeling down and if you're feeling in a bit of a rut, let me know down in the comments, and we'll see what we can do to get you out of it. That creepy pheasant is still bothering me, but it's nice to be out of the little landscape photography rut that I've been in. I'm out shooting some landscape photography today, and I can't get rid of this creepy little friend. Look how close I am to him. Look at that. Say hello to the people on Instagram. Look at that. After that, I am set up for my second shot of the day. And the autumnal colours have been really late this year. That thing is stalking me. Anyway, I remember last year around Halloween, the autumnal colours were in full flow. This year, it never really happened, but we're into the middle of November now, and we do actually have some pretty nice autumnal colours, at least here in North Yorkshire. So that's what I'm trying to put in to this shot. I have the 70 to 200mm lens on the front, and what I'm trying to do is just to capture some of this beautiful morning light that's casting long shadows from the trees across that icy green field, and then I've got some of the autumnal trees surrounding that. It's quite a close-in shot, but it just gives a really nice feeling of what the view, what the atmosphere is like from up here. Settings-wise, there's a little bit of interest here too, because I'm quite high up here and it's very windy, and with that lens on the front, there's quite a lot of movement. I'm not really paying much attention to my tripod or anything like that, so I've upped the ISO to 1250. That's allowing me to get the shutter speed up to 1/160th of a second, which when it fires, I'm taking all the movement out, because when I was at a normal shutter speed, it was about 1/10 when I was at ISO 100. There was a bit of blur and I was losing sharpness in my image because that lens was moving around. So upping it to 1250 on the ISO has sorted that out, and I've now got a really nice sharp image of this beautiful autumnal scene. That pheasant is really quite disturbing. It's just circling me like it wants something. I'm unnerved. Okay, so I'm all set up for my last shot of the day, and I've come down from where I was before. This hill here, that's Hornby Hill Crag, and I've got this lone tree forming a quite nice composition. I've got the tree in the foreground, you've got all this sort of heather and moorland leading you up to the hill in the background, and then the sun is in the shot too, which is not ideal. So I'm hiding the sun behind the branches with my perspective on the camera to just cut down that light a bit so it doesn't overexpose and put flare into my image. So I'm at about 24mm at the moment, and it's just working with that composition really nicely. There are actually some quite interesting clouds, and I'm managing to capture that, so it's just going to make that image just a little bit better as a scouting picture. I'll come back another day, it'll be another lovely little spot for a sunrise here as the sun starts to come up behind that hill, or maybe later on in the year when it sort of comes round and you get some nice bit of colour in the sky as well. So I'm just going to capture the image. I'm at f16, ISO 100. I'm bracketing as well because it's very bright in the sky. I want to cut that down a little bit. 2 stops either side as normal. And let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward, pretty nice. And I'm happy with that as my third shot of the day. What a great day. I've rediscovered my mojo or my passion for landscape photography. It was absolutely beautiful up there. I've really enjoyed having a little play with the drone as well, and it's just been a really fun day. When you've got a place like this, who needs the Lake District? Who needs that World Heritage Site when I've got North Yorkshire today all to myself? Brilliant day. Please do subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of stuff. Hit that notification bell so you see my things my videos when they're coming out. I hope you've enjoyed it too. I'll see you on another one very, very soon. I'm Adam. This is First Man Photography in North Yorkshire. Out.